Hello, everybody. This is JD again. Welcome to my office at Bob's Gifts and More. The plug for my wife's store. Why am I here right now? I don't know where to even begin. We have a president on vacation in Martha Vineyard playing golf and all the fun things. And if allowed to continue, something that is far more evil, extremely more evil than the Third Reich and Stalin combined is growing in the Middle East. I don't know what to tell you people. Soda, people. I don't drink any alcohol at all, sorry. And not that I'm against it, I just don't like the taste of it. It all tastes the same to me. Like alcohol. Okay, people. The truth is, he's ran his campaign on getting troops out of Iraq. Well, he got him out of Iraq, created a big void, and now allowed something to grow that is far more deadlier to the United States than anything that has existed in the world. ISIS, for you people who read the Bible, could be the prediction of the coming of the beast. For you people who don't believe in God, and don't believe in the Christian Bible, and don't believe in Revelations, and don't believe in that stuff, he is an evil. This is an evil that cannot be comprehended by anybody in this country. You've seen pictures after World War II of the bodies that were gassed, that were ready to go in the open pits. How evil is that compared to human beings, women and children, old men being thrown in a pit alive and being buried? We've seen pictures of the Germans lining people up before the pit, shooting them dead, then throwing them in, then burying them. But this group don't waste their ammunition. They throw them in alive and bury them alive. For you who have children, think about that. Your children thrown into a pit of dirt, covered up. If I was Obama, I'd be standing before Congress right now. As President of the United States, I would be explaining to them the evil that we see, and that unfortunately this evil must be. And how would I do it? I don't play games. Remember this. I never play games. If I must go to war, I don't believe in war. And I feel that every side loses once one life is lost. But if I must go to war, believe me, it will be war. If I must send our troops in to eradicate an evil, I will eradicate that evil. And I don't care if I have to stand alone, we will do it. Just for example, I'd bring every single American troop out of NATO through Turkey to cut off any access of escape. Right into northern Iraq, right off to eastern Iraq to cut off any escape for ISIS. And then from Saudi Arabia and Kuwait, I would bring an army that ISIS will not believe could exist. And I would take them off the face of the earth. when we had a chance to eliminate them, when they were small, but they're growing every day. They're as big as a country now, and they have a budget as big as a country now. They have robbed Iraqis' banks. They have money available. They can go. And there are people, even in this country, who will sell them weapons. They are for world domination. I hate to see what would happen if they're allowed to continue. See, we have a president who doesn't look at the situation, doesn't evaluate, does not know the responsibility of leadership. He stand before you on TV and said no boots on the ground when his advisors would say this is terrible. So we'll do some airstrikes, no boots on the ground. Then he puts in 250, 300 here. Well, that's just to protect. Then another 250. That's just to protect now. No. The truth of the matter is there's going to be boots on the ground. And there's going to be severe fighting. But you know what? The Iraqis can do it. As long as they know we're there with them. They will have the courage. They will have the strength. And they will have the ability. As long as they know we are there with them. Because they believe in our strength. They believe in us. And it will give them now we could end up with a quagmire like Vietnam, and that will happen if he allows ISIS to get back into Syria. You know, like Taliban out of Pakistan. Or he could quit playing games. Quit going tit for tat. Quit doing an inefficient job. You know, being president has two things that must come with it. One, you must be a leader and understand what leadership is. And it's not a very easy picture, and it's not a very pretty picture. If you want people to like you, you're not out there to be liked. You're out to do for the most important job in the whole wide world. Leadership of the United States. That's number one. And number two is accept the responsibility of that leadership. This man has not accepted any responsibility of anything. His own words has created a nightmare. His lack of accepting his responsibilities has created something far more worse. France and England realizes how terrible this thing is. They have seen it before. They have seen it grow from nothing into a horror machine called the Third Reich. They have seen this evil firsthand growing. We, the United States, our leaders off playing golf. Talking with a few people here, having dinners here. Gosh. You know, his epitaph is, as president is being well written, always on vacation, and allowing the world to fall into total chaos. He has done in 8 years tried to undo what our forefathers and many great men have done to build in 200 years. I support him on making decisions, but he isn't. He is doing half a job. But then George Washington warned us about political parties, didn't he? And this is what happens when you get a political party, especially a pacifist party, a socialist. Anything for peace. There is a definition for anything for peace. It's a horrible definition. It's a terrible definition. It's a one-word definition. But there is a definition for peace. And that definition is called slavery. You become the slave of the hostile. You will do anything and everything they say and expect nothing in return. That is anything for peace. That's the definition of anything for peace. We have an extremely capable military that's sitting all around the world. Problem is, he doesn't have the understanding of this one thing in foreign policy. Every single nation has a right to exist. And the people within that nation, and only the people within that nation, has the right to decide how they shall be governed. Iraqis are not given that choice. ISIS invaded them. Iraq has a right to exist. The Iraqi people are being slaughtered and murdered because of their beliefs. They have the right to be governed as they wish, not as ISIS dictates. See, that's where I said I would defend the right of every single nation to exist and for the people to decide how they shall be governed. That's why I will defend the right of North Korea to exist and for the North Koreans to decide how they shall be governed, not the United States. Will I have to, when you elect me president, the horrors that could come. I'm not going to play games, people. I don't play games. And I really doubt if as president I'm going to be taking vacations. I really don't think so. There's no time. After my 4 years or 8 years, then I have all the time in the world. But right now, people, listen to me. This is an evil. We have only seen glimpses of it from the Third Reich. This is an evil that combines what Stalin did and Hitler did to the people in their gain to power as minor. It's time for everybody to listen. It's a time for you to understand the world is not the United States. It's not like the United States. There's a lot of evil out there. Tit for tat is not the way to do anything. ISIS idea is for total world domination. We, the people of the United States, believe that each and every nation has the right to exist, and that the people within each nation has the right to choose how they shall be governed. Those are opposite each other, opposite forces. And we will stand for these rights and the rights of the individuals, even if we must stand alone. But understand, people, and Obama, you especially, leadership is not easy, and tough decisions have to be made. There's time to talk, time not to talk. You've insulted everybody in government in the state of Illinois with your comments. You needed to just say we are aware of the situation and we are watching it and seeing to it that it will be justly handled. We will not accept anything less than that. That's all. And when it comes to war, the less you say, the better it is, Obama. All you need to say to the people is, there is a horror out there, there is an evil out there. That is a very threat to the core of the Constitution of the United States and the American people. And that threat must be handled. And will be handled efficiently and quickly. That's all that needs to be said. You get up there and you put these lines up that you end up having to back away from and throw out the window, Obama. Everybody's telling you boots on the ground are going to have to be. The American people know boots on the ground are going to have to be. Is this your foreign affairs? Is that your Katrina? Bush had Katrina. He waited till the American people demanded the military go in and help. Then he sent them in. Because there is a law that says the United States can't use the active military in the territories or states of the United States. Congress passed that law. And he didn't have enough guts to stand up and say, the heck with that law, I got to get these people help, and I'm going to do it the fastest way I know how. So, instead of him being a hero, he got what is Bush's Katrina. All your advisors told you about ISIS when they were insignificant, and you could not listen. And then when you get out there to the people, you put these lines that no leader in rightful mind knows can be kept. Whether you call them military advisors or what, it doesn't matter. Once that foot is stepped on the ground, that's a boot on the ground. ISIS is not in the jungle. It's in an area right now where they can be fought. It's in an area where we have expertise of the terrain. It's an area where we fought door to door, window to window before. It's in an area where we can control the situation. But soon, is that where it's going to stay? Is Obama going to allow ISIS to become a country? It's now a country by all standards. They taken the territory, claimed it, and declared it. They have everything they need to make themselves a country. Only thing is they don't allow the people any choices. If you don't convert to what they say you got to be, you're dead. You're buried. Wait, you're buried, then you're dead. So, my Obama sits on a golf course in a golf cart, smiling, looking pretty. The problems he created are growing. The evil he permitted to happen to people throughout the world is now happening. His constant indecisions and lack of anything has totally lost the respect of leaders throughout the world. Putin has no respect for him whatsoever. The rest of the world is wondering what in the world he is thinking. What is he doing? He's the first to open his mouth, stick his foot in, and say a lot of things, and he sits back and takes the back seat. Take the back seat's okay, but shut your mouth. How many times do I tell you? You must not say all the crap you're saying, especially when it comes to war. The only thing you should say in war is everything is on the table. I shall decide what is needed and used by the advice of my advisors and my military leaders. I will keep it to a minimum if at all possible, but if I should have to go to the maximum, I have no qualms in going all the way. It's like getting in an ice cold pool. What is worse? Step at a time, little step, little step, little step, or to take the plunge? Which one tortures you more? Little steps or to take the plunge? You got to get into the pool. You got to get into the pool. No ands, no ifs, no buts. Which one tortures you more? Now, I'm not saying send all the troops over there now and all that stuff. I'm not. I am saying start looking at the situation, realizing the reality, the terror, and the horror of it. Listen to your advisors, listen to your generals. And then, Obama, go from there. Forget everything you said. Tell the people that you made a mistake. Oh my gosh! A president that would admit they made a mistake? If you look at the greatest presidents we have, they did admit they made a mistake. Didn't Reagan admit he made a mistake? Oh, yes, he did. And several others. Because they know we're not perfect. They know people are not perfect. And they know the American people realize that. But this phony facade, it's a horrible thing, war. And I've said it 100 times over, if not 1,000 times throughout my life. War is hell, and peacetime it's murder. We got murder in the United States and wars upon wars upon wars throughout the world. Your eulogy, your epithet. Think, Obama, this is it. Look at Ferguson. That's your eulogy, your epithet. Look at Iraq. Look at Afghanistan. That's what happens when you play games. I don't play games. So, people, what am I saying? Am I a warmonger? No, I don't believe in war. But if I must, don't expect it to be a little game, because I don't play games, especially when it comes to people's lives. Is this the kind of man you want for president? Who's going to be straightforward and honest with you? Is not going to tell you what you want to hear, but tell you what is? Is this the kind of man that you want to be president, that's going to be direct to you? Who's going to let you know what is happening and why it's happening and what we as a nation must do to provide for the common defense of the United States? You know, I seen a picture of two girls that were captured that were doing a humanitarian. And they were captured by some Islam terrorists. And I said, what do you expect from a group of people who will bury alive women and children? Do you think they cared that these two young ladies were doing humanitarian stuff? Caring for people, feeding them, working with the sick, the unhealthy, things like that? Do you think they cared when they're burying whole villages of women and children and old men alive? You know, you want to put a face on it. Put a face that you all realize that is worse than Hitler. They're worse than the Third Reich. I'm sorry, people. And we allowed them to become what they are by having a president of total indecisions and lack of responsibility, and has no idea what leadership is or about. He only has his agenda, and the world does not fit his agenda. And he has done more in 8 years to destroy what 200 years of some very great men have built upon. Can I pick up the pieces? Can I do the job in 2016 when I get elected, in 2017 when I become president? I better be able to. It's going to be a tough job, but I wouldn't be sitting here telling you otherwise. It's going to be a tough job, but we can do it. Believe in our Constitution, believe in our voting system, and believe in you. And we, the United States of America, with me as president and you as my supporters or Americans, can do the job that is needed for the whole country, for all the problems It may not be the way we want it to turn out to be the problems, but we will handle each and every one of them. We, you and me, each of you. We will unite as a people, completely united. You won't hear of things like you hear today. We will be one nation, under God, and indivisible. And we shall stand strong and mighty and stare the world in the face directly, eye to eye, if it must be. But we, the United States of America, under the Constitution of the United States of America, with each and every one of you, those who voted for me and those who did not, but each and every one of you, side by side, and we shall show the world a nation that is so strong and so powerful and so undivided that none before had ever existed. That is what JD's epitaph will be. We'll have a mess, but we, yes, you notice I say we, can do the job needed. And I know the responsibilities, I know the strengths, and I know the horrors of a leader. I know what leadership is, and I know the work that it involves. So people, you decide, what do you want for a president? A political party member or an American who stands up for you? Thank you. This is JD. Remember, 2016 is not that far away, and I need your help, each and every one of you. Thank you again.